Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Harlequin here, and welcome to another episode of HarlequinCasts. Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Today's game is going to be a big fat 3 versus 3. You can see here we are on the dark, jungly map of Sycarus Plateau, and let's go ahead and take a look at some of these players because they're all very highly ranked. And by the way, I just wanted to remind everybody, not only do I have an official discussion thread over at gamereplays.org where you can always drop by to discuss any of these replays, also you can follow me on Twitter, HarlequinCasts at Twitter, so drop by there and check that out. That's the best way to hear when I have new games coming out and that sort of thing. So over here on the right side of the map, playing as the red team, we've got first up here is YourDad is Dead, who's going to be playing as the Apothecary. Then we have Mr. Edtjuh, which you all should know. He's going to be playing as the Force Commander. And by the way, speaking of downloadable content, you can see that he does have the Dark Angels downloadable content. So we'll get to see a little peek of that as well. And to the south, we have Mrs. Dirk playing today as the Lord General for the Imperial Guard. Their opponents on the other side of the map, as the blue players, we have Caeltos. You all know Caeltos. He's awesome and also an expert over at gamereplays.org, playing as a Plague Champion. Drophacks is going to be playing as the Chaos Lord today, the White Chaos player. And playing as the Apothecary, we have Captain Dark Riku, another fantastic player that's out there. All of these players, by the way, they all have a variety of rankings on, I'm going to start this replay here, but they all have a variety of rankings for 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3, team battles and that sort of thing. But they're all like 2,000, 2,200, 2,500 in some cases, so they're all super highly ranked. Drophacks in particular is really high for team, as is Dirk. So they're all really, really good players. So for the most part, this game, as always for 3 versus 3 games, I'm just going to try and keep up with the action here. We can already see for the build orders that both Chaos players have gone for Chaos Space Marines. Both Space Marines on the red team have gone for, all Space Marines have gone for tactical Marines right off the bat. Those tactical Marines, by the way, in the recent 3.14 patch, did get a little bit of a discount. They are now $450, so that's much cheaper, a little bit easier to get multiple attacks out in the field. Dirk Radix, I'm going to try and pronounce that correctly even though I have trouble with it. It's kind of a weird name. Is coming out right now with the Sentinel and building a second Sentinel. Now this is a Company of Heroes style play that we often see for Company of Heroes maps, which is that you send your initial scout, your first unit out, and just sit down in the building next to the point that you know your opponents want to capture, using that building cover, kind of stalling things out on the southern side there without having to commit. It's a way to stall them out using a minority of forces. And maybe even inflicting a little bit of casualties, although you can see this is a lot of focus fire. They're going to be taking some serious damage here. Looking more towards the middle, we can see Drophacks is just kind of hanging out here, and I believe that is Caeltos hanging out in that building as well, again using the cover. And we'll take a look around and see how these guys are doing. It looks like Captain Dark Riku has shown up here with his Tactical Marines. His Tactical Marines have these wonderful looking white helmets, by the way, which is pretty much the only thing distinguishing them from YourDad is Dead. But it looks like they're just kind of getting overwhelmed here on the south side. Double Sentinels, what with double ground pounds going on, really tough. But you can see the Apothecary has been healing these guys over and over, doing quite a good job. That's the second heal that Tactical Marine Squad has received, and as a result, they're able just to kind of shred up those guardsmen. The guardsmen having to retreat to the building. It looks like the Sentinel getting repaired, and the victory is going to go to Dirk Radix, who's doing some serious damage down there. More towards the north, we can see it looks like Drophacks has just been kind of advancing through the middle here, backed up, well, not backed up by, but being pursued by YourDad and Edtjuh here. Just kind of a bit of skirmishing kind of going on across the board. Again, the Apothecary here from YourDad, getting the Master Crafted Bolter upgrade, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. And here comes Caeltos right now with a bunch of his Chaos Heretics. Got some skirmishing going on up here as well. It looks like the Force Commander is chasing down Drophacks Heretics as well. Heretics moving in, definitely going to get some Doom Blast going on there. Yes, they are, suppressing pretty nicely. But as you can see, Edtjuh has kind of split up his troops pretty nicely from the rest of the blob there. And as a result, the Doom Blast does minimal damage here. Both of these guys, it's important to note, both of the Tactical Marines here for both YourDad and Edtjuh have got the Flamethrower upgrade. You can also see that Drophacks is just kind of chasing these guys around. I'm guessing he already used his Kill the Weak ability. It looks like the Apothecary is taking quite a bit of damage down there. It's kind of tough to see who's going to win this. The Apothecary's having to get out of there, but these double Tactical Marines here with the Flamethrowers are just really, really menacing. Not to mention the ones in the nice little Dark Angel hoods there are especially menacing. I do like the way that those guys look. Anyhow, now that the Chaos Lord has kind of turned on all of them, I think they're going to have to get out of there, but For the most part here, Drophacks is doing a pretty good job just kind of winning this standoff. Oh, you can see this TAC Marine squad almost losing a second model there. And to the victor go the spoils. It looks like Drophacks is going to have some the ability to kind of put some pressure on that generator farm right there. So we can see Dirk Radix hanging out down here again with the Lord General. Lord General just kind of resupplying. Standing on this victory point with the double Sentinels. Again, this map has got a single victory point to the south and double victory points to the north. So this one down bottom is kind of like the swing for the most part. In general, you can expect that each team will have the top one on either side. So defending this position very important. And you can see, knowing that, Dark Riku has deployed a heavy bolter team here. So he's got his the Devastator Marines hanging out there. Those guys are really good against Sentinels. So that ought to help him hold on to that a little bit better. Maybe looking at getting his heavy weapons team inside there, but we'll see. Moving up north, let's take a look around up here. This is what we were talking about before. So Caeltos, it looks like, joined Drophacks in wrecking that gen farm there. You can see he's got the Bile Spewer upgrade, so that certainly helps out. And now we do have an assault squad on the field right now. In fact, both YourDad is dead and Edtjuh went for assault squads right away. So they threw down some generators after their first hack squad and got the assaults out there. It looks like Dark Riku is on the same path as well, but he stopped in the meantime to get a Devastator squad. So here we can see Dirk Radix is just getting nicely set up here. We've got Catachans out, backing up the Lord General, who does have the grenade ability. He's got the grenade launcher set up there. And a little bit of a skirmish going on here, and a little bit of a skirmish going on in the middle. We can see that Bile Spewer kind of slowing these guys down here. Double Chaos players up here fighting against double Space Marines. And more towards the south, we've got Space Marines on Imperial Guard. So here it goes. Oh no, and we had a nice little charge in on top of that Devastator, but the Devastator really wrecked that Sentinel. One Sentinel goes down. However, the Devastators have been overwhelmed. They're going to have to get out of there, especially being hit by grenade barrages and having the Catachans in close combat. I'm sorry, here are the Catachans. These are the Guardsmen, of course. But for the most part, it looks like Dirk Radix has completely secured the bottom position. Going to go ahead and decap that with the Sentinel. Looking more towards the center, we can see that the double Space Marines on the red team have kind of pushed in. Assault Marines attacking this back position right now, knocking back all of these tactical Marines and the the Chaos Space Marines in the back there. And we've got double flamethrower attacks kind of moving in, putting some pressure on all of these guys here. And just a wide variety of units taking losses on all sides. But for the most part, the Space Marines really do have the advantage here. Even the Chaos Lord taking a little bit too much damage, having to retreat away while being burned quite a bit there. And now that the battle has been won, you can see both Space Marines making sure to go ahead and split their troops up and just kind of recapture all these points towards the center. Meanwhile, it looks like Dirk Radix to the south is also having some luck, pushing forward towards the gen farm, trying to do some damage out there. Sentinel going ahead and tanking a little bit in the front and putting a nice ground pound down on all of those troops there, but going to have to back away for the time being here. So good amount of stuff there. We do see that Caeltos has already gone to Tier 2. That gives him a huge advantage right now. Drophacks already going to Tier 2, and this is exactly what I was about to point out, is that Caeltos does have access to an early Blood Crusher. Early Blood Crushers are certainly useful, but against double Space Marines with the particular builds that YourDad and Edtjuh have, not necessarily as good, because they do have a little bit more soft AV available to them once they hit Tier 2. Melt-a-bombs, missile launchers, that sort of thing. We'll have to see if any of that comes into play. Or if they're just going to try and go for some AV or whatever, we'll see. But definitely in team games with this many potential soft AV targets around, the early Blood Crusher is a little bit less important, but still a menacing force, if not properly countered. We can see the Bile Spewer going into effect once again. They're kind of sledging down these guys a little bit. Meanwhile, the blue team capping this bottom victory point. So you'll notice, by the way, with the help of Edtjuh's Force Commander, by the way, who has a power sword in the Armor of Alacrity, they have capped both top positions. So it is 420 points right now to 380 for the blue team. Currently 2-0 red winning there. It looks like without even hesitating, the Chaos Lord has gone and got the Lightning Claws. Certainly good against melee. Definitely not bad if you're expecting to be in melee with lots of with a whole bunch of tactical Marines. Obviously, if you're going to be using Kill the Weak and stuff, the Chaos Lord is usually a lot better against little weak, flimsy targets. But against Space Marines, perhaps he wants the extra melee bonus there. Or perhaps he's just anticipating vehicles, but honestly, I think he's just getting it for the melee. We can see the Blood Crusher now on the field by Caeltos, putting some pressure on this northern generator farm. And again, the Chaos Lord down here wrecking away at the natural gen farm here as well. So really, this is the only gen farm that hasn't really been wrecked yet. And as you can see, tremendous fighting going on down here right now. Looks like Dark Riku is kind of coming in from the south right now. You can see he's got a nice little corner set up here on this Devastator squad. However, the Sentinel is outside of the range. He's going to be going ahead, putting pressure on there. It looks like the Plague Champion stuck in here as well, with the Icon of Nurgle, another item which got a nice little buff coming into 3.14. It now has a much bigger range. It looks like the Apothecary was picked up, some Laraman's Blessing being used there by the red team. And now you can see this nice little flanking position that the Lord General had, but now that everybody has turned upon him, he's going to have to go ahead and retreat out of there. So the Sentinel now moving up, and we can see some of the reactions from all the players going on here. So it looks like we have a single Tactical Marine squad coming out for Your Dad is Dead, Razorback, and Manticore coming out on the field right now for the red team. You can see, looks like the Destructive Strike was just being used right there by the Chaos Lord, but everybody got out of the way. And for the time being, Double Chaos have regained control over the northern side of the map. And it looks like the red team is actually taking quite a lot of damage in terms of power. Just looking at their power right now, you'll see they're at 22, whereas the blue team is at 44. So the blue team is getting roughly twice the power output that they are, or more than twice now. So the Razorback now in the field, and again, we can see that Razorback with the beautiful Dark Angel DLC right there. My favorite detail here is the Repent logo on the side of it. I think that's kind of cool. And Blood Crusher now hanging out back here. Looks like these guys are going to go ahead and get their upgrade, getting the Mark of Tzeentch for the Hellfire Bolters there. So that's pretty cool. Inferno Bolts, that's what I meant to say. So, the Assault Marines from Edtjuh leading the attack, charging on in. You can see he does have the Melta Bombs already. Going to go ahead and stick the first Melta Bomb right on the side of that Blood Crusher. The Blood Crusher taking just a little bit of damage. Again, soft AV, but those will stack up over time. Blood Crusher, however, doing a pretty good job. We do see a little bit of Nurgle worshipping going on here as well. Oh, and we have Touch of Nurgle being activated on the Chaos Heretics right now. Touch of Nurgle makes it so that when they die, they explode and they heal everybody around them. And of course, the Chaos Heretics, you can Doom Blast them as well. So the Doom Blast does a double explosion with the Touch of Nurgle, and it heals everyone around. This is a massive, massive way to change the tide of battle. They're just going to probably just charge on in. Usually, you'll see players just suicide the Heretics all the way down to like 1 or 2 models, just to kind of keep everybody healed. So that looked pretty good, but surprisingly, even with all of those losses, he's just going to have to get out of there. It looks like the Razorback combined with the Assault Marines really just did a pretty good job at just holding off all of that. Again, Tactical Marines, really, really tough guys, and lining up a shot. Maybe got to get the missile. There it goes before the Melta Bomb could even go off. So again, those little upgradable AV abilities was all that was needed to take care of that guy, unfortunately. So Blood Crusher goes down. Once again, the Chaos Lord here totally wrecking this power node, even going ahead and throwing... oh, no, sorry, that's them throwing the cap on there, so never mind me talking about that. But anyhow, the Razorback right now just kind of chasing these guys away, but it doesn't really matter. Mantle of Hate as well. So he does have the Drain Life ability now. But we'll see here, just a little bit of kind of noodling around. However, we do have, yes, the Chaos Havocs are out on the field right now for Drophacks, and he has been upgraded with the Mark of Tzeentch, giving him that last cannon. You can see that one shot from the last cannon really wrecked that Razorback quite a bit.